Have you ever thought about the importance of telling your stories? Oh, sure. You've got lots of photo albums you've been keeping up with all these years that could tell your stories. Not. You know, those photos that could help tell your story are all on your phone and other devices, and you don't even remember what you've collected. I have formulated a fun and practical way to bring your stories to the forefront of your memory. And once written down, several options as to what you can do with them. I call it time treasures. Having done several TV shows on Food Network and a series with PBS, the month before heading to the film studio was spent gathering my stories. Oh, sure, they were interested in my recipes, which I would be presenting on camera. But what good are recipes if they don't have a story, if they don't have a heritage, if they don't have a history? Stories are what make TV entertaining, and television is for entertainment, just as are books. It's why we love to get lost in stories that people have to share. And no, you're not going to be cooking. This is not about food. Time Treasures is about your stories. And it just so happens that since we eat 3 times a day, food is a wonderful, interesting catalyst to bring stories back to your memory. A place you traveled, a family member you hadn't seen in a long time and sat down and shared a meal with. Food has a unique way of sparking your memory, and I'm going to help you do that. So where's your story? Why haven't you written down your story? You know, they say everyone is good for at least one book. But I'm not a writer, you say, and I wouldn't know where to start. You don't have to be a writer to capture your stories, to write your memoirs. You just have to be willing to tell them. And even if you're not interested in publishing a book, don't you think your family would love to know the stories that you have tucked away in your memory? Do it, because once you're gone, they go with you. Trust me, I know. Because this woman wrote her story 150 years ago, and no one ever saw it until I found it hidden in a shoebox. Letters that were handwritten 150 years ago. Don't leave your story behind and hope that maybe someone will know those interesting things that happened to you in your life. What can you do with your stories once you've written them down? An easy booklet, spiral bound, with photographs and stories that you've written. You could, of course, self-publish, as I have. And there are many different options for doing that. But there are other timeshare capsules that you can create once your stories are written down. There are these fun, unique little books that you put the story in and you handwrite it. And you fold it up, and every page has one of your stories in it. You can tuck photos in here, and these can easily be given to family members. And then there's film. For that rookie filmmaker in you, I have a really fun way to go about capturing your stories on film. Kind of a voiceover to your stories with visuals. So if you or someone you know is ready to explore this enlightening experience, let's get started.